Good afternoon. Welcome to Radio Row, live from Super Bowl 59 in New Orleans. I'm Roy Kessel, your host from Sports Philanthropy Network, and we're very excited to have with us today Kevin Harker. Kevin is with the American Heart Association.
That's
and
right.
So we had a great breakfast this morning.
We did.
Got a chance to learn more about the work that you guys are doing.
Yes,
and
thank
the
you so much
importance
for
of
being there,
everything.
too.
So I see you're sporting your Chiefs colors. So that wasn't just to match the red for the Heart Association.
And I'm
right?
a real Kansas City guy, so I flew down from Kansas City, and I've been a diehard fan my entire life. So during the lean years and also during the really good years, like these last 4 or 5.
Well, I know this morning it was great to learn about all of the initiatives that you have. It's so important when we see what's going on around the world, the opportunities to save lives. Talk a little bit about what some of your biggest initiatives are right now.
Yeah, thank you so much for inviting me as well. So one of the biggest initiatives that we're here for is to talk about Hands-Only CPR. And Hands-Only CPR is something that everyone can learn with 2 easy steps. The first step is that when you see someone go down, dial 911 immediately. That activates EMS and makes sure that we're getting people activated to come. And then also the second thing is to push hard and fast in the center of the chest. And so that's the main thing. And then keep doing that until help arrives. So dial 911, push hard and fast in the center of the chest. And we have a very aggressive goal focusing on doubling the survival rate from sudden cardiac arrest. And so that's a big focus for us right now.
So I know that there's so many people that know that they need to be trained to do that, right? There's so many of us that may have been trained 10 years ago, 20 years ago. Some of the techniques change a little bit. Some of the thought process of how to handle it change. The concept of or just hands, right, is relatively new.
Right. In the old days, we had individuals that you had to be able to have mouth-to-mouth, and that science has proven that really that is not necessary as much. That really what you need is those chest compressions. And so also what we need to do is to activate an AED. So if that's around, if I'm here and somebody goes down, I'm able to shout out to one person that says, you, dial 911, you, go get an AED, find the AED, and then we're immediately beginning to do a hands-only CPR. It's as simple as that. So, we have different levels of training to be certified, which we require for all of our hospital employees, nurses, doctors, medical employees. They need to be certified. But for us, we're lay people, and we know that 70% of cardiac events are going to happen in your home. So you're going to be performing hands-only CPR on somebody probably somebody you love as well. So it's great to be able to know that.
Well, and it's so important because being able to take that direction from a 911 operator or call center, it really helps prolong the opportunity for somebody to get on site and support those efforts.
Roy, I'm so glad you mentioned that because that's one of the things that we're advocating for is what we call TCPR, and that's telephone CPR, and that's making sure that if I call 911, that I have an operator there that's walking me through it. So we want everybody to know how to do hands-only CPR. But if by chance I don't know, we want to make sure that all the 911 operators are equipped to be able to tell me how to be able to do hands-only CPR to keep that individual alive before EMS arrives.
And I think what's really important, what's interesting, right? You look at performing this, right? But let's back it up even a little bit to young kids, right? There's so many situations of sudden cardiac arrest with youth and with high school athletes.
Absolutely.
And when you talk about the cost and how much money is embedded in sports, right? And the cost of an AED is not that significant, right?
A couple $1,000, then too. So it's an easy spend as well. Now we know that there are issues with that then too, but it's a pretty easy lift for individuals. We also have opportunities available to get grants as well if necessary. But for most schools, most school districts, most clubs, they can be able to have an AED on premises.
So why do organizations struggle both to have those AEDs readily accessible and then to have had the training to allow, right, a wider array of, let's say, people on site, students, teachers, and everything becomes certified.
Yeah. And so again, many individuals, most people don't need to become certified. That's a longer training, a 4-hour training. Really what we need to be able to do is to be CPR aware. And so that's knowing that if someone goes down, I'm able to say, call 911. I'm able to start doing hands-only CPR compressions, pushing hard and fast in the center of the chest. So you really don't need to have training for that. We have a 60-second video that can equip people to know what to do in a medical emergency. And so that's the first step, is being able to watch that video. And then repetition's a good thing as well, making sure that people are watching it overall. But you talked about, why do individuals struggle with this? Why do school districts struggle with this, or sports teams? A lot of it is access. I heard a horror story not too long ago of a school had 4 AEDs on premises. So it wasn't an issue of cost. That's the first thing that people go to, is cost. It was an issue of cost. Unfortunately, they were all locked in offices, the superintendent's office, the principal's office. So it's an issue of access. They didn't have access to them. And so unfortunately, while they had all of the awareness, they had all the opportunities, they didn't have that AED readily available when during this soccer practice. And that young student unfortunately went down and he lost his life. And that's an unimaginable, horror for that family and for that district and for those that school. So challenging.
Well, you talk about access, right? So we're here live on Radio Row, right? 150 media outlets, a ton of people running around.
Isn't it?
And we talked this morning about Damar Hamlin.
Right.
And I say one of the things that hit me is how fortunate he was that he's in the middle of a football field where you've got dedicated responders waiting with nobody in the way. People can right now. If one of us just dropped on the floor right here, the odds of somebody being able to locate an AED, to communicate that, to get it here in the middle of all of this craziness, right? It would be really hard to have somebody get to us in time to save our life.
Exactly, and that's why we call it the chain of survival as well. So the first step in that chain of survival is being able to access 911 and then being able to start immediate chest compressions. And then the second thing is an AED. We haven't really talked very much about the AEDs, but being able to have the AED on there and being able to access that, and it walks you through every step. I was unfortunately a couple of years ago, I was in an airport in Chicago, and I see an individual who went down. And there were 3 other individuals and I that jumped in to help, and that's what we did, is to say, you dial 911, you go find an AED, and individuals did that. They took that responsibility, but it took 11 minutes for EMS to arrive. And so 11 minutes is a long time. It's a long time. And so, that's what we're trying to do, is to make sure that we are improving the access to care as well. So there were 4 of us providing CPR, hands-only CPR. We administered 3 shocks to this individual. Unfortunately, he was 86 years old. He didn't survive. But his son afterwards thanked me on a phone call and said, thank you for giving my dad every opportunity to survive. And that's what we're trying to do. This is a miracle opportunity of reviving someone's heart. They are dead, and then making them alive again. And so, but it's a miracle, but it is not foolproof as well.
So what can we do as Sports Philanthropy Network and our community and organizations within our network do to help support these efforts?
Yeah, get involved. Go to our website, learn CPR, donate to the American Heart Association as well. We're grateful for your support. We're also grateful for the thousands of individuals, millions of individuals who make the American Heart Association part of their cause. So we're so grateful for that. So get involved, say yes, and being able to learn a little bit more about how to save a life, because again, as I said, it's probably going to be somebody you know, it's probably going to be somebody you love.
Well, Kevin, thank you so much for coming. Before we let you go, I'd love to have you grab the little card that you filled out before over there, and we're going to put it up right here on our wall of philanthropy.
I'd be honored to. Thank you so much.
Put it right up here.
There we go. Get that right way. So American Heart is our slogan that we have is "Life is Why," and so that's what I put. But my mom is a heart disease, suffered from heart disease for many times, and so that's why I have up there. And then of course I do have the obligatory "Go Chiefs" as well. So
hey, good luck for your Chiefs.
Let's go.
Thank you for making the time.
Thank you so much, Roy.
On behalf of Sports Philanthropy Network, this is Roy Kessel signing off from Radio Row on Super Bowl 59. Please remember to live generously. Thank you.
Thank you.